Hello, everybody. I'm Farida Bharmal, and I'm waiting, of course, for the audience to join in. But at the same time, I'll just tell you a little bit about me. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining in. I'm Farida Bharmal, by profession, a counselor, a graphologist, and life coach. And, you have, of course, if you haven't watched yesterday's live, I have been talking about the importance of sleep. So go ahead and watch that too. Hello, thank you for joining in. Now, today, I wanted to, talk with somebody who I'm very sure you're going to be very interested with the kind of achievement this young girl has had. Okay, she's an author, right? Anybody who would like to, guess it out? She's from our own community itself. So she's an author. The name of the book is Dear Me, I Feel You. So would you like to sort of have a guess as to who it could be? Okay. Whoever is sending me the request, I'm already having a guest here who would be joining us, right? And I have been speaking about her itself. So, as I have said, I'm talking about this beautiful girl from this town of Nandurbar in Maharashtra. She's from our own community. She has written a book by the name of Dear Me, I Feel You. Anybody knows her name before I invite her to join us? Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in. All right. So I am going to add her, and her name is Alefiyah Faeez, and she will be joining us. And I'm going to quiz her because I am really excited to know more about, her journey as an author. I'm sure you as well are going to be inspired by how this young woman has uh, gone forward to her journey in becoming an author. Hi, Alafia. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Bain. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. So, first and foremost, Alafia, before I go ahead and talk about who you are, I have already been telling them that you have been authoring a book and so on and so forth. It would be really nice if you could go ahead and talk about it a bit to our audience. Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Give your
Actually, it's been
introduction, yeah.
quite, yeah, actually, it's been quite a while since I haven't done any kind of live or anything. So I'm really excited for this. Uh, hello, everyone. I'm Alefiyah Faiz here, author of Dear Me, I Feel You. My book has been published in the last year, December, and I've been getting a great support from you all. I'm really thankful for that. Apart from that, I'm a content creator, and recently, since I haven't updated you guys, I am also a literature student, and I'm really having fun doing it. So, thank you so much, Jane. Thank you so much for this.
You're most welcome. I also was going through your profile. You are started as a coach as well, is it, Alafia?
Yeah, I'm doing giving a writing coaching for free as of now. So yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm sure, I wish you all the best because being a coach is a different journey in itself. Now I'm going to, ask you a little bit. Before that, I'm just going to answer everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. Fatima, ask Fatima, the beautiful lady herself. She says, hello, beautiful ladies. Hi, Fatima.
Hi,
And
Fatima Bain.
all the others as well who are joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. In this slide. So, Alafia, tell me, how has your journey been towards going to an author, of becoming an author? What is one of the things you would like? to tell us, because we do have workbooks and things like that, but full stretch out as an author. How has this journey been for you?
Well, as a writer, my journey started when I was before my teenagers. I was 10, 11 years old. I started writing. I was too much into reading. My mom always said that I started reading and writing quite earlier than my age. So I guess that was more of a beginning for me. About writing and taking it seriously, I guess I would give whole credit to a teacher of mine, a ma'am of mine, who motivated me to write and read, who motivated me to read in the first sense, made me read all the Vedas and a lot of things like encyclopedias, and I don't even remember what she made me read now. And writing, well, I had this, from like I used to write poems. Whatever I used to feel, I used to write poems. We know that when you are in a puberty age, you're quite reserved and conservative kind of person. You become that. So at that moment, I felt like I need to give out myself. I need to express myself, and I wasn't able to do it in front of people. So I used to grab any piece of paper and pen. I just used to scribble anything, like anything. And once in a while, once she came up and she read it, that I wrote a poem about something. I just don't remember what it was. She came on and she read it, and she motivated me that I should pick on writing. Not saying that I should do it, but making me write essays, making me write Teachers' Day speeches, and a lot of things like that, annual functions and all those speeches. She used to make me write all of that. She just used to go and edit it, and she used to, as it is, give it to the guest. So that's how writing journey started. About being an author, well, this was a tiny dream of a little girl. For the first time, I picked up Harry Potter because I've said this before in the live as well. I picked up Harry Potter, and for the first time, I saw the author's name, J.K. Rowling, and I was so much into that name because it was almost in every book of hers. Right, this is written by J.K. Rowling. This then I went on for other books as well, like R.K. Narayan, Ankita Desai, and all of that. So it was, I guess, lecture time, and I was in the library, and I rushed with the book to my ma'am, and she was actually teaching. And to give a head start, she was a very hot-headed woman. So she was giving a lecture, and I was so much desperate to know what actually it was. So I was constantly calling her, knocking on her door that, ma'am, I need to ask you a question. Ma'am, I need to ask you a question. She would say 5 minutes. I'll say 5 minutes. But I was just, very curious. So later on, she just slammed the book when I was not giving up, she slammed the book on the table, and everyone was literally like pin drop silence. She rushed out of the room and she like just screamed, "What is it?" And for a second, I was like, should I tell her or should I not? Because you're scared of that expression. So I very in a timid voice asked her, "Ma'am, what is this name below the book?" She said, "It's the author's name." I said, "What is an author?" So she said, this the person who writes the book, the person who have published the book, is the author." So I asked her, "Ma'am, doesn't all the books are written by God?" Because earlier she made me read Bible and Quran and Gita and everything. So I just asked her on my innocence that, doesn't every book is written by God? And she laughed at that. She laughed really loud at that, and she said that, "Mad girl, it's written by people only. Only the holy books are written by God." So I was like, for how long this book stays? For how long this name stays? She said, when was the last time you read Dickens? And I said, okay, I read it last. The last book was Dickens, Christmas Carol. So she asked, when was Dickens alive? And I said, okay, it has been more than centuries and still there. So unless the last copy of this book remains, the name remains, the story remains. And I was so fascinated by this idea that
Wow.
you're giving on the stories, the legacies, the culture, the art towards your next generation. Like it has been centuries for Shakespeare and Dickens and Jane Austen and all of these people, but we still read them. We still are influenced by them. And I was so fascinated as a girl with this idea that And at that spot, I said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write at least one book in my life. So I guess that was the moment when I saw a dream of becoming an author, becoming a person like that. So that's how it started.
In fact, I've been, going through the comments also. Fatima is writing very inspiring. Not everyone gets this awareness of having a gift at this young age. I will actually agree. And the fact that, she had a teacher, she went ahead with Harry Potter, which is a beautiful book of imagination. I mean, if you look at the entire book, because I have read the whole series, the kind of imagination she has is mind blowing. Secondly, the fact that you wanted to go ahead, there was this beautiful connection which you made. I feel that as far as the book remains, the author is going to remain as well. So I think that is a very beautiful takeaway for anybody, especially young authors. And I know that a lot of people are trying to become young authors in this day and age. Apart from that, there are a lot of people who are saying, do speak in Hindi. We are having a session here in English, but basically, just to give a gist, मैं जिससे बात कर रही हूँ वो अलफिया फायज है और उन्होंने एक बुक पब्लिश की है डियर मी आई फील यू और मैं उनको इसी किताब के बारे में पूछने वाली हूँ अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट वो अपनी जर्नी बता रही थी कि वो किस तरह से लिखना उन्होंने शुरू किया तो इट वाज स्टार्टेड व्हेन शी वाज 10 वो जब 10 साल की थी उन्होंने ये पूरी जर्नी शुरू की उन्हें उनको जो बुक्स अच्छे लगते थे इस बारे में हमने बात की और उनकी टीचर जिन्होंने उन्हें प्रोत्साहित किया हमने इस बारे में बात की ओके सो because I have been seeing sir that you have at least asked 2 to 3 times I want to respect मैं इस बात को रिस्पेक्ट करना चाहूंगी कि आपने 2-3 बार कहा है इसलिए मैं इस चीज को हिंदी में आपके लिए दोहरा रही हूँ राइट so I hope I summed it up quite well right yeah, okay. So, now let's come to the book, okay, Alafia. What is your book about? Dear Me, I Feel You. What is it about?
Dear me, I feel you for the first thing to give you the head start. The book is all about emotions. It has nothing to do with the reality. It has nothing to do with the people. It has nothing to do with the ideas. It's all about emotions. As we all know, like in the book, the summary as well says that our lives is a roller coaster ride. We all are some days up, some days down. We are at the highest, sometimes at the lowest, sometimes. And when during this roller coaster ride, if you would see, even in the roller coaster ride, you would see we often look at the person sitting to us, what his face is like, what expression he's giving or what he's feeling, and most of the time that is what influences our feelings. But more, there are a lot of times when we are not sure what we feel like, unless and until someone comes up and asks this questions, how are you feeling? Someday someone will come up and ask, okay, how are you feeling today? And for a second we understand that, just for a millisecond we understand that we are not great, or we are great, or we are depressed, or we are having this kind of stress or something like that, just for a second. But to say it to that person, you always say, oh, I'm fine, I'm great, I'm doing
I'm
great,
fine.
you know
Mm.
yeah, that's what we say. And this lie we always also say to ourselves sometimes, not sometimes, I would say a lot of times, that I'm doing great, I would do this, I would do that. But that's not how it should be done. When you're not okay, you need to accept that you're not okay. And when you're okay, obviously we do that. That we when we're okay, we shout in the world, we shout in the void that I'm great, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We shout towards the people we love that I've achieved something or something like that. But when we fail, when we are in a depression and a lot of things are going on in the background, we are messed up, and we just don't accept that even to ourselves. So this book is technically a book that helps you meet yourself, your own emotions. And this book, to be honest, was written has I've been writing since I was very young age. There are some quotes, there are some prose and poetries that I wrote when I was 10 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old, when I was going through something. So I would say that I have kept my heart out in this book, and express myself every time. There are divisions in the book, like there are divisions about a family, about friends, about love life, about career, about feminism, about depression, about being broken, about being messed up. There are a lot of divisions in the book. So this book is all about that. This book gives you a head start to understand yourself, to express yourself, even if it is to our own self. We just need to express that, okay, I'm not good. Most of the times there are a lot of influencers and motivational speakers. They would say, when you're down, stand up in the mirror and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, you have to do it. But when you're ready to do it, when you're not ready, when you're messed up, you need to accept that. Giving false hope to yourself is not going to do anything for you. So you need to accept that. And this book is completely about that. This book helps you understand yourself in a better way and help you express in the words. Most of the people can't do it. I think I got this luxury to express myself in words. I could write it. I was luxurious enough to write it down what I was feeling, but not everyone would be the same. Some actually need to read something that would make them feel what they're feeling at that moment. So this book helps you do that. This book makes you understand what you are feeling. What That's why the title, Dear Me, I Feel You. That's it.
It's a beautiful title, and the way you have explained it is also excellent, Alafia. Apart from that, they're asking for your Google book link. So definitely go ahead and provide it. I think it should be available on your profile or on your link or something.
It's there in my it's in the bio, and you would get all the social media connections, as well as there's a separate link for my book. You can just go to my bio and check it out.
So what I would really appreciate everybody who is attending and who wants to know more about Alafia's book to go to her profile, that's Scribbler in Rida, and get the copy from there. Yes, after the live, of course.
Yeah, sure.
All right, lovely. Apart from that, the subject of emotions is very intense. For a starting topic, the subject of going in a topic like emotions, I think it's very intense because as a counselor, I do understand, from where you are coming and what you're talking about. Yes, expressions are very important. Yes, talking it out is, talk is a therapy at the end of the day. So, yes, talking it out is very important. What you have done by writing is also a therapy. So, that's a way of therapeutic. It's when you allow yourself to express on paper and you see your words over there, it has a different impact on you in itself. And I'm sure because you're a writer, you will be able to, look at it in a very different manner or feel it or acknowledge it in a different manner because once it's out on paper, you're seeing your thinking on paper, and I think that can be very beautiful. You're allowing that thought, that energy to pass you by so that something else can come into the picture. Right. Okay. I don't know. There are a lot of people who are asking to be in the live, but I would really appreciate if you could, uh, write the question. If it so happens, I don't mind taking you in the live, provided you are ready for it. Okay. I have absolutely no problems at all. Okay. So it would be really nice. One, just type down your question. We'll look at it. And if you want to, after that, go ahead and ask her yourself. I don't mind, inviting you in my live either. Okay. Right. Uh, Now, another question which I would have liked to ask you is, Alafia, see, before writing the book, okay, and after having it published, what are the changes which you feel in yourself?
Well, there were two types of changes. One is the change of heart, and one is change of mind. Like completely, there were two two different uh, types of changes. The change of heart was like I felt somewhere in my heart that I actually need to put something more out there. The prose and the poetries are not enough. I felt that, and so far it's just a starting. Like initially when I published this book, my goal was not to get a bestseller or even get it, among the best, among the top 10 or top 50. I just wanted to put something up there. I just wanted to put it there, just to give myself a head start. So this was the first thing that was going on in my mind about the heart, about the brain. I can see there are a lot of myths that broke down about the publishing industry that I had and that people have about publishing industry, about writing industry, about authors, about readers. There are tons of myths. Like I face such lame questions almost every day that I really get fed up of it. So there were these questions were mine as well when I was at that stage, whether these things happen or not. So this myths got broke down. This there are things that I understood. There are also some things that I thought that I realized that I need to learn. Like I said, I'm a literature student. I was earlier a business background person. So I changed my field completely because later, after publishing the book, I realized that I need more and more deeper knowledge about it. And when I am putting something for my readers, I need to make sure that it is perfect and they get it and they understand it. And most importantly, it goes to their heart. So that's the most important thing for me as a writer, as an author. So for that, I need to put that literature, put the art forms into my heart first, to put them in there. So that's why I kind of took a break from publishing my books. Like last time I got the question whether I'm going to publish anything right now. For that answer is clearly no. I'm not going to do anything right now for next 2 years. I'm taking completely a break because I feel that there are a lot of polishing and there's a lot of sharpening of my tools that is necessary to put it in front of the people. So that's what have changed as a person. My perspectives got changed. Firstly, when I used to read it as a story, as an imagination, as a great thing written. Now I analyze it as a writer. I read between the lines. I read the punctuations. I read the grammar and all of that. So that is what have changed from becoming before becoming an author and now after becoming an author. It has changed me completely as a person.
Lovely. I really love the fact that you wanted to go deep into your field. Apart from that, to realize that, you needed to change your career. Not your career, of course, your stream, because somewhere this is what will help you move further. Wise decision. Thirdly, you also realize that there were things which could be improved upon. See, a lot, you went ahead and got it published. The issue is that a lot of people allow their dreams to just lie down on the dream level itself. At least you went ahead and got it published, and I think that's kudos to it. That's second. Of course, what are the sort of myths which publishers and writers and people have? I would like to talk about those. And I wanted to say, yeah, one more thing which I wanted to say is that your first product is not your last product. Okay. In fact, to any entrepreneur out there, anybody who is into a creative field, don't try to make it perfect because perfection is a myth. The biggest myth is perfection. All right. I think that's procrastination. My teacher says my that's procrastination in high heels. Okay, so the best thing would be to go ahead, take your product. If you are even 70% ready, put it out there. The other 30% up kar lenge. Okay, that's another thing. And yeah, your first product is not the last product. Apart from that, speaking in Gujarati, I'm sorry, will not be able to take requests in that way as to speak in different languages in different ways. But definitely, जैसे हम हिंदी में थोड़ा बहुत आपसे बात कर रहे थे, उसी तरह से आपको समझा देंगे कि हम किस टॉपिक पे बात कर रहे थे. इस वक्त मैं उनसे यही पूछ रही थी कि ऑथर बनने से पहले और बनने के बाद उनमें क्या बदलाव आए हैं एंड इसी बारे में हम बातचीत कर रहे थे. So, Alefia, I wanted to ask this. What is the myths which you came across? I know it's totally a curiosity question. What are the myths which you came across?
Before becoming an author, I had this myth that I would put my book, like the first and the most obvious myth any writer would have is I would put my book and it would just sell itself, That was the biggest myth. that most of the writers back in the story used to do the same. They used to give their masterpieces. They used to give their I cannot say mine was the masterpiece, but yeah, they would just write it down. They would just send a manuscript, and it would just get published. I guess people have some trouble with English.
Okay. Okay, come, let's take a poll with the people because we are doing it here, right? What would you like the language to be in, like English or Hindi is okay. Let us understand that at the end of the day, we are in a, in a live wherein there are people from different backgrounds and everybody will not understand Gujarati.
Understand?
ठीक है? You'll really need to respect the space that everybody will not understand Gujarati. Just because you are comfortable with it, it doesn't mean that we will start speaking like that. Okay? However, we can go ahead with Hindi just to balance it up, right? Is that okay,
Yeah,
everybody?
yeah. Oh.
Lovely. Yeah. You were saying, Alafia, about the myths.
So should I continue in Hindi?
Go ahead. Okay, now somebody says English. All right. I think we
Okay,
should just
like
take it
we
on.
can
Just go ahead
like
with whatever you feel
okay.
comfortable with.
I'm comfortable with three of the languages. I can even start a little bit with Marathi as well. But people should be comfortable. Then we are doing it with them. So yeah,
I can start with Kannada too,
it
but it won't. No, I don't think it'll be a good
would.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's continue. As and how it has been coming. So go ahead with English.
Okay. So this was the first myth. Like I would just put on my book to the publisher, and this would get published, and that's it. I'm done. But later on, I realized that's not the story. That's not how the story goes. That's not how the journey goes. I realized I got a lot of questions. There are a lot of rejections for my first book about the poetry book. Those who were going for the poetries as well have been rejecting because obviously they need something from my side, which I wasn't very much aware about. Uh, Currently, how many languages are available for your book? It's just one English. Only English language is available for my book. I pray that someday my book get translated in some other language. I would really love that. But yeah, until now it's just English. So that's how it went. Later on, I realized that I got few great mentors in my journey. Author Kristen Martin and Jenna Morrissey, Bethany Atazada. They are all New York Times bestselling authors, and they have been helping a lot to me in my journey, directly and indirectly, both the ways. So they made me realize that just having a writing skill doesn't make you an author, doesn't make you survive in this world, in this competitive world where every day hundred or thousands of books are getting published. That won't make you survive there. So you need more than that. So that's where they advised me to start learning social media management. Like I have done a proper course as an SMO expert, graphic designer, content creator. They have advised me to go for public speaking, and I've been doing that quite long, making connections. And actually, the whole point is proving the publishing industry why they should put their money in you, why they should invest their money in you. So that takes a very long time and long journey, but it is worth it because at the end, if a good company, if a company that has name and fame would publish you, that in itself would sell the book. Like you don't need to then put any kind of effort. But that also there even you have to do some little bit of social media marketing. Apart from that, you don't need to put as much efforts as you're doing now. Like as of I'm doing right now, I don't have to do later on. So that was the first myth that just writing a book is enough and I'll become an author tomorrow. Secondly, one night success is there's nothing like one night success. There's nothing like that. You have to work every night, every day to get that one night in your life. That's what was the myth. When I talked with certain people from my group, they would say, "Beta, जाओ, publish करो, वो अपने आप successful हो जाएगी." That's not how it's done. That's definitely not how it's done. You need to work on it. You need to put efforts on it, and you need to put it out there. Third myth, and the most craziest myth, is that all writers and readers are introverts. That's not true. I'm completely an extrovert, completely an extrovert. uh, and I've never been introvert. I love outdoors. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people because I come to know a lot of stories from them, a lot of backgrounds the people come from, the culture they come from. I love all of that. So I'm definitely not an introvert. And there are a lot of people out there who are readers and writers, well-known readers and writers who are not introverts. Not introverts.
I will
People,
second you
writers.
on that actually. I'll second you on that because there is a perception which people have that there this kurta pehen ke with a a cloth bag and a pen and a paper and a writer is something like that. They have this kind of assumption that these guys are not very talkative or anything in that way. But when you look at the other way around, all the courses which are coming out are from people who are well established writers. And just looking at you right now, the fact that you have been speaking to a whole lot of people, it is showing me that you're taking this entire industry very seriously and you're working on yourself, and I think that is beautiful because understanding from a from this very point that you will need to work on your skill, you'll need to sharpen your saw, you know. I think I call that being very smart and very intelligent. Okay. Good evening from Kashmir. Good evening to you too. Gujarati very, so I don't know. Let's not. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all of those comments, everybody. Yeah. Yes, Alefia, you were saying something and I just stopped you.
It's Uh, yeah, that was the one of the most weirdest myth. The last and not the least, the fact that writers and readers are quite intense sort of people. That's now not how we are. That's we are. They people have this perception that a writer or reader, they are crazy. They are very intense. They go a lot deep in the below the surface. Yes, we do. There are certain subjects that are of our interest, and we love to go deep. And anyone would, like if it's a business owner, if it's a painter, anyone would, if they're into something, they would go deep into it. But there are certain like there have been you know a communication of mine where people have actually said कि तेरे से हम क्या बात करें यार, तू हर चीज के डीप में जाएगी, राइटर है ना, like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's not how we are. That's not what we do. That's not how we feel like how we are. We are common people. We are normal people on a daily basis. We do all the normal things, and like every normal person, they do. It's just the same. Only that the thing is, we have a very different perspective towards life that we keep to ourselves. We go on giving free advices. No writer would waste their energy behind giving free advices. They would not do that. No reader, no one would do that, not just writer. So amid that, writers and readers are pretty intense people, pretty deep thinkers. Yes, we are deep thinkers, but we don't impose our deep thinking on somebody else. So this
That's
were
a very
the
beautiful way of putting it across, Alafia. In fact, Ahmed Saifi has a request. Can we have a piece from her book? Do you have your book over there with you?
I don't have my book as of now, but I think if I am giving a minute, I would pull up something. I was not aware that this would come up. So
Why not? I will give you a minute. Why not?
Yeah, sure. I'll be back.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll give you a minute. I think we'll give her a minute because it's a very valid and a very good question. Thank you for putting it up. Even I did not think about it. And hello, Scribbler. Hello, Farida ma'am. Hello, Vinitji. Thank you so much for following us. Apart from that, all of those people who have been giving requests to come on live, again, I am asking you, is there a question? If you have a question, go ahead, just ask it off. And, are you ready to be live with us? Is the question there. Okay. I'm just waiting for Alafia to come back. Thank you for being with us all this while. What topics do I write on? Oh, I do love writing. You can go ahead and check out my blogs. That's on my website, Miraki, www.miraki.in. I have written about handwriting analysis. I have written about counseling. I have my own book. I think it should be here. So I have my own book on signature analysis. It's not published or anything as of yet, but I'm hoping that I'll make it one fine day. Ah, I'm having Alafia here. We are having her back.
I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Not an issue at all.
So, is there any specific request from them to to pull off something, or I can go with whatever I feel like?
I think you can go ahead with whatever you feel like, some Alafia.
Okay. Actually, this I don't have my book, but this is my diary. I used to write while I was young, 17, 18, something. So I have picked up, like I said, I have took a lot of things from my past written stuff. So this is a diary, and I would just read something that I would love from this, something uh,
Was also
that would
published in
just
the book? Was it also published in the book, or is it just
yes,
something
yes,
that you
yes.
did?
No,
Oh,
no, no. This was also published in the book.
lovely.
This is a quote. This is a small quote that I personally feel like this is very true. And as a nature lover, as a cinephile, I really get connected towards this quote, and I feel like this in a true sense what makes me as a person. So I would just go ahead with that. Never feel that you're alone. God have prepared such a beautiful nature to give you company during your lonely and low days. So just go ahead and speak to it. This is just a small quote that I have also put in the book. As a nature lover, and when I feel like I'm alone or lonely, I would just sit in the nature's company at night, just gazing at the stars and the moon, and I would just stay there like that. That's how my sometimes lonely times goes like. So
To me, it would be gardening. To me, it would be because when you were talking about nature, what nature brought up in my mind was plants. What it brought up maybe in your mind was the moon, the sky, the stars, which is at the same time. I'm sure, when I am with my plants, the kind of lesson which I learn from them is so silent and it's so deep because nature, I feel, is the best teacher. And I think if you are willing to ponder upon what lessons it wants to give you, you will take it really further and deep. So it's a very beautiful thing because a lot of inspiration comes from there. Lovely. I really feel that's quite lovely. And I think it's a beautiful quote, uh, Alafia. To you, it's sketching, is it, Ahmed? Nice. I think it was a beautiful question to ask Ahmed Sefi, and I thank you for it. Childhood to young age, and as he grows old. One's signature changes from childhood to young age, and as he grows old, your okay. This one I'll answer this one. Yeah, I'm a graphologist or a handwriting analyst. So your handwriting will change basically every time you write. Okay, because it's very much linked to your subconscious, it's linked to your moods, and your moods are not going to be stable all the while. I'm okay, let maybe it's not the stable word, it's not going to be the same every time. For instance, if you might be angry right now, you will after a while you're going to go back in your usual state, so that's one of the reasons your writing will keep changing, and that's a very good observation which you have there, Vinitra. Thank you for the question.
Actually,
Go
Bain,
ahead.
I also have a question
Sure.
to ask to you. Out of curiosity, like we see this in the serials and the movies that the handwriting experts they go on checking the handwriting. Actually, I'm very much curious about how they do it. Like, is there a certain process or what it is like? How can you recognize someone's handwriting? So people can copy handwritings really well. Like, even as kids, we used to copy our parents' signature sometimes. I'm guilty for that, but yeah, we used to do that. So how can you understand whether this handwriting is of that particular person? Like, is there some science behind it or what?
Yes,
I'm
there's a
curious about
science
this.
behind it actually, Alafia, and I think there are two things which you're talking about here. Of course, forensic document examining also uses graphology. Okay, graphology is wherein you look at the handwriting of the person in order to understand the personality of the person. All I need is a writing sample, and I'll tell you who you are. Okay, your writing comes from your subconscious. However, your signature is something which you have consciously adopted, either by looking at your parents or looking at your friends or adopting one particular trait from one person, and you adopt your signature. What is your signature? It is a public image. Your signature is your public image. It's how you want the world to look at you. It's how you want the world to look at you. So that is signature. Now, when you go about, understanding or deciphering, okay, whose handwriting is it, or the will part, or whether the signature, the forgery part, that takes you to another level wherein you are going with forensic document examinations. Okay, that's when you call the person a handwriting expert. Okay. At present, I am a counselor, a graphologist, that's a handwriting analyst, a therapist. I use handwriting as therapy to help you come out of certain situations. So if you go ahead, I don't know whether if you have understood or not, there are a lot of different types of writing. There is expressive writing, there's journal writing, there's gratitude journals which you have, there's a pen baker method which you have. So again, those forms of writings also evolve, and they have a effect on the personality of the writer. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's like on my level, I understood what you what you were saying. Like, yeah,
Lovely,
because
wonderful. That
this
would be wonderful.
this this was like really, it's exciting and it's equally something really out of the box kind of thing. So I'm really like ever since I've been reading your blogs and ever since I've been reading it, I was like I had this question in the mind because we always like the basic serial is that crime patrol. So we all see what they do and what it, I always had this question that sometime I would ask you this that what it was like, what the thing happened. So on my level, I understood what it was like.
It's lovely. In fact, inshallah, I have not yet taken it out, but in the month of October, I'm going to have a session, a masterclass on signature analysis itself. So that's also out of the bag right now. So you can go ahead and, anybody who'd like to know more about it, please join this session because it's going to be, I'm going to take you deeper and I'm going to make you look at exactly what your signature is, what signature analysis is, what are the five forms, five types of signatures which are actually harmful, which a lot of people knowingly or unknowingly end up, practicing on themselves. So this is one of the things which we do.
Signatures
Alfia,
could be harmful as well.
absolutely, it could be.
That's for the first time I'm hearing that.
It's a science, my dear. It's a science, and the art is how you're going to express whatever you have understood to the other person. So it's a very beautiful, whole soul way of doing something. Whenever I go with one of my certificate courses, I tell them just that, you don't have a handwriting sample in front of you. You have that person in your hand. So be very kind when you're doing the analysis. Okay.
I, I
Now,
would I would personally love to join the classes because I'm really interested into this.
definitely, definitely. You can, everybody go to Miraki Soul Talk for this because you'll be able to find a lot more information. That I just dropped a post and come here for your information.
Okay.
Okay. Alafia, you know what? I have been enjoying this conversation with you, and I really loved the way you have held yourself and answered the questions. I think I would like to end it with uh, first and foremost, before ending it, I would like to appreciate what you are doing. I think it's amazing. I think personally, there's so much of potential out there for you that I would really love for you to, grab upon it. And the fact that you are learning, see, the more you learn, the more you earn. Okay, it's a very simple philosophy. The more you learn, the more you earn. So go ahead, do that. The fact that you are learning skills which will help your big products like social media management, like graphic designing. These are skills in your kitty, which I really feel that they will help you move forward. As a person, you don't have to know you don't need to do everything, but you should know everything so that you don't end up
Right.
being taken for a ride. Right? Now I'm going to ask you, all right, we're going to end with this, Alafia. Any 3 to 5 things, which you would like an author or or somebody who wants to publish their book to keep in mind. Anything which you would like to share, any tips, any pointers for any new authors.
Well, for the starters, I would just love to let them know that when you're writing, don't just think that you are the one putting the words out there. Especially when you're writing for someone else to read, you need to put what they would love to understand. It's not anymore the age where you can just put down there if you really want to become an author, if you really want to sell your copies, and if you really want to do that, you have to make sure, keep this very clear in your mind, that whatever you're writing for your readers, not just for yourself. So, your readers, what age group are you writing? What genre are you writing? These 2 or 3 things really need to be considered. Second thing, if you're an Indian author, I would really, really appreciate if you guys are writing more than if you guys are writing more than romance, please start writing more than romance, because I personally love romance, but there are Indian readers who are seeking for something more than romance, something more than Bollywood industry is providing us. So, not criticizing anyone, but just start writing something more than romance, because I've seen a lot of writers, a lot of newbie writers who couldn't make it just because this story was a romance story. You could make it thinner. You're a writer. You can give anything to it. So start writing more than romance. We're really fed up of romance nowadays. So yeah. Third thing, third thing. Go out, sell yourself, come in front of the camera. Nowadays, it's really, really important that you show yourself to. I have also said this back in a post and in a story as well, that you need to show up to the camera. If your personality defines what your product is, at the end, from the start, when you're starting, when you're making a product, you are an artist, no doubt. But when you go out, when you keep it in front of the people, when you want to sell it, you're a business person, and you need to think like that. Like, if they won't see the business person, they wouldn't see the owner of the product, how would they trust the product? So you need to put yourself out no matter what you are. You're a reader, you're a writer, you're a poet, whatever art you're doing. Just come out, sell yourself, sell your face. It does matter. It's not just about showing your face, it sells your product. So come out, show up. And for the new authors, there are going to be criticism, there are going to be rejections. People, your loved ones, are not going to support you. There will be people who would call you crazy. But if you believe in yourself, if you believe in what you're doing, don't give up on it. Because I have been through this, and from personal experience, it hurts. It hurts like hell when people you love comes up and say that you should not be doing this. It's not what you should do. So don't listen to them. If you feel like you are doing the right thing for yourself, if that work makes you happy, go for it. Like literally, सब छोड़ छाड़ के बस एक काम में लग जाओ जो चीज आप पसंद करते हो. बाकी सब गया तेरे. Like that sort of attitude you need to adopt when it comes to working for your dreams and your goals. It's going to be hard, it's going to be messy, but at the end, it's going to give you satisfaction that you actually need. Quote the word need.
I just have a question. How young are you, if you don't mind?
Uh, I am 21.
Guys, I'll say it in English and Hindi. At 21, this girl is actually teaching you business. Okay, being a writer and showing you how business should be done. A lot of people don't even know about this because she's right. It's not your product that sells, it's you who sells. All right. People don't buy your product, they buy you. They buy with any person who buys has three questions. One is, does this person know, is she reliable, is she capable, and does she care? Okay, these are the three subconscious person a person anybody asks. If you go ahead with marketing psychology, you will understand this. Okay, so coming out and letting people know that you are there, it's reliable, you are expressing yourself, you are coming, you're talking about your product, which is showing your capability, isn't it? And the fact that she's telling you that this should be done, it shows that they care as well. These are three very powerful ways of doing something. I don't think you should miss out on this. I'm going to say the same thing in Hindi. जो इन्होंने कहा है at such an इतनी young age में जो इन्होंने कहा है, अलफिया ने कहा है, वो exactly entrepreneurs जिसका दिमाग उस तरह से चल सकता है, उस मुकाम पे सोच कर इस बंदी ने कहा है, because जिस वक्त आप अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं दूसरे लोगों के सामने, ऑफ कोर्स एक्सप्रेशन है, जो आप अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, वो एक प्रोफेशनल तरीके से होना चाहिए. Doing entertainment is not expression over there. Please understand this. The way you promote yourself, the way you show up, showing up is important, but the way you show up is equally important because you end up making a brand of yourself. Okay, so Alafia, I think this was beautiful. I personally think you have a long way to go, and I'm hoping to see that many books, of yours which are coming out, and all the very best for the best of everything you do. I'm sure my audience will also agree that it has been a wonderful life. I enjoyed your questions also, Alafia. The fact that you care to ask the other person about what it is and to listen and to take it forward from there. I loved your listening skills also, my dear. It shows me the kind of person you are. It's beautiful. It's amazing. MashaAllah. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank
And
you, Jay.
Ahmad Seifi says, I really love to have a second part of this interview. I really enjoyed you guys. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Actually, we enjoyed you as well. This was a lovely question out
Thank
there.
you.
And everybody who has watched us and is watching us right now, thank you so much. And Alafia, thank you so much for this interview as
Thank you.
well. And
Thank you,
I'll
Bain. I
just
really enjoyed, and thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this, especially the fact that I was actually in the first sense very uncomfortable because you are a counselor and everything, so I was very uncomfortable with that. but the way you were frank with me and the way you were making me comfortable with the whole thing, that was really, thankful, and I'm very gracious towards that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone, for
you.
being there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alefiyah. We loved having you. We loved having you. For those who have just joined in, our session is done. Go ahead, watch the live. It was actually a very beautiful session. And I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for being there. Bye bye, everybody.